Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marcos Luis here. And yes, we made it. It is season 7 of OneMicNite podcast. Can you believe it? 7 years of bringing you the best stories around inspiring journeys and work with mental health. I'm Marcos Luis. I want to say thank you for 2025 season 6, because we were in the top 5% of the most shared podcast around the world. So thanks to you for all of that. Keep on sharing, keep on liking the episodes, and keep on following. This first episode is a banger. I have an exclusive. Now, you know him as your American Idol top 10 contestant, and he was turned away live on the show. His name is Jermaine Jones, and I've got the exclusive story on what happened, the behind the scenes. He is here today to talk to us and let us know what it's all about. So sit back, relax, get ready for season 7, episode 1 of OneMicNite podcast with Marcos Luis. It's coming on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready. Bam! Hi, everyone, and welcome to OneMicNite, the podcast that brings you stories of artists and people on their journey, helping to guide, answer questions, and motivate you in life and the business. You already know who I am. It's Marcos Luis, and I am back for season 7. Thank you all for sticking with me for 19 years of OneMicNite, and now we're back to season 7 on the podcast. Please, as always, like, follow, and share. Today, I have an exceptional story. You already know this person. He is a household name. You saw him on American Idol season 11. He's a singer, he's an actor, he's a vocal instructor, he's dynamic. Please welcome Jermaine Jones to the show. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, I have questions.
I finally, after all of these years, after 13 years, I have answers.
I love it. And we're going to get into it. My first question, though, is who is Jermaine Jones?
Jermaine Jones is a caring, educated, God-fearing, loving, creative, blessed, talented, anointed, recovered young man of God.
Okay, I like that. That's a lot of adjectives.
It took some time for me to even know who and whose I was, but we'll get into all the process of we'll get into all of that. Yes, but it took me 39 years. I'm 39 years old. It took me 39 years to find out who I was.
I love that. Let's do something first. Let's take it back.
Yes.
Take it back a little bit. Where are you from? Where were you born? What?
Well, I was born in Underwood Hospital. I don't think it's even called that anymore, in Woodbury, New Jersey. My mom is originally from Baltimore, but she grew up in West Deptford, and my father is from Woodstown, New Jersey. So I'm a Jersey boy,
Okay.
definitely South Jersey. And so, yeah, that's where I grew up, all around the area. West Berlin, Pine Hill. I graduated from Overbrook High School in Pine Hill. So I grew up in South Jersey.
Okay. What was that like for you? What was school like for you?
So in the beginning, school was challenging. I had a hard time in school because I was so creative and so fast. Like, I was learning, the kids were learning afterwards, but I already know the information, but I have to wait for the majority, which is most of the rest of the class. So I used to get in trouble in the beginning, but I ended up graduating high school and going to Westminster Choir College in Princeton, New Jersey.
They didn't have like an exceptional program where you had like I don't know what they call it, AP classes or
Right,
classes that
accelerated
excelled. Yeah,
classes.
accelerated classes. Yeah.
Um, it was earlier on in school, and this was
Mm.
back when I was young, like elementary school, middle school, things of that nature. So, um, no, they didn't have anything of that nature. So it was just the acting
Mm.
out and being bored, being bored.
Right. Yeah.
And so I used to get in a little trouble in the beginning of school. But once I learned that education is power and that I need this to move forward and I locked in. And when I locked in, I graduated and I went to college.
Where did that come from? How did you lock in?
I locked in because I knew that there was something different than what I was exposed to, right? I didn't want to be a product of my environment. And it wasn't a horrible environment, but it wasn't uh, the best environment either. I didn't grow up in Camden, New Jersey, not anything against Camden or Compton, you know. Pine Hills are not known for all of that, but um, I just knew that there was more, something outside of just that. And I needed my education
Yeah.
to
Did you
take
have,
me out of my right now situation.
was there somebody that was the catalyst for that? Did you have a mentor? Was there a teacher that kind of like said, "Hey,
I had a
you got something, or you're something"?
I had an English teacher in college and then I mean in high school, excuse me, and then to even go to college, there was this teacher, her name was Lauren Athey, and she had went to Westminster Choir College. And I was in school and I sang one time and she seen something in me. Her voice lessons were expensive, right? So and I didn't have no way. So during school time, she would give me private lessons. She got me ready for college. She invested in me. She seen something in me. And she's a voice teacher, still is to this day. And she seen something in me and started teaching me. My grandfather taught me from young. My grandfather had a music studio. My mom and my aunts, they have a gospel music group. So music's in there.
So you had a little, yeah, you had a little music bug in you. It just wasn't developed, and you didn't
Yes.
know. Ah, I
Yes.
like
I
that.
definitely had to enhance and cultivate that. But we make a joke that I was born singing. But literally, my mom was directing a concert for the church and she went into labor and I was born.
Get out of here. I love it.
Literally, I was born into music. Literally.
That's great. That's your calling. That is definitely your calling. Wow. So they knew early on. I think, you get to a point where when you're a child, like you said, you were a creative person. You were, you just couldn't stay still. Your attention was already somewhere else because you already learned that. You've already mastered that. You were ready
Yes,
to do
yes.
something else. So the teachers at that time, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to,
Right.
stimulate you in a different way so that you can keep learning. So that's
Correct.
where you start acting out then. Yeah.
That's what exact you explained it better than me.
Yeah.
Yep, but that's exactly where it comes from.
Mm.
Instead of, and then they want to find a way to classify you, but you can't classify me because there's nothing wrong with me. I'm creative. I need to release. I learned this. I have this. I want to move on, right?
Right.
And if I do have to slow up a little bit, we have to find a creative way to do that so that we could keep, me engaged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where did you said you went to what college? I'm sorry.
Westminster Choir
Westminster
College in
Choir College.
Princeton, New Jersey. Yeah.
Hmm. How was that for you?
I enjoy college for the most part because now it's music school. So, I mean, even when people are practicing and they're in the studios, like it's just music everywhere all day long. Somebody's playing, somebody's rehearsing, somebody's doing something. So, um, I loved that. I loved that, right? So I went to school for music education because when performing is all over, right? When it's all said and done, I wanted to be able to have something to fall back on. I never really was big on being a music teacher in a school. Like if I do anything in education and music, it would be something more like being a private consultant for failing music departments. So I
Mm,
would be a private consultant for music departments that needed to be revamped. A lot of music teachers are tenured. They retire from being a music teacher. Music teachers don't just switch out, right? So
right.
sometimes they get complacent. Sometimes the program is dated and it needs to be revamped and things to keep music in the schools, number one, and to keep the students engaged.
Do you feel like we're at a place right now where we need more arts in school?
Definitely.
Hmm.
And it's more they're taking it out. Um, I cringe because it's so important. I wish people would know how many times the arts saved my life or the arts have saved lives,
Mm,
period,
yes,
across the board.
right. Absolutely. Music therapy is also big.
I'm telling you, I dealt with this autistic child
Hmm.
and he would not speak, but I could get him to sing things. So when I'm teaching him words by singing,
Right.
and he used to communicate through music.
I love that. I love that. That's exactly what it does. And music transcends all culture, all race, all everything, political. You may not even know the words in that language, but the vibe, the rhythm,
Will move
the
you.
move,
Yes.
anything will, take you when you connect with it.
Yes.
Hmm.
And that was, I'm going to tell you something. That was powerful what you said. Anything that you connect to will take you. And this could be in a positive way. This could be in a negative way.
Absolutely.
Whatever, oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That was a good little nugget. I'll keep that.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think we are right now with music, with current day
Um,
music?
Music is definitely not, excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. Music is definitely not what it used to be by any means, right?
Hmm.
But it is just so powerful that you can't do without it, right? I love how artists are way more vocal than they were back in the day, right? The quality of music to me is not at its best, but the creativity is phenomenal, right? Um,
That's actually a really good way to look at it. I never thought about it in that way, but you're exactly right. You're
yeah,
exactly right.
it's lost its quality, but its
Uh-huh.
creativity is beyond, right? So I always try to, because music has saved my life, right?
Hmm.
So I am a actual living witness that music can save lives. Music has kept me in situations and in times where nothing else or no one else could.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Like, what are you referring to, if you care to share, or
I mean, in some of my darker times, like when I'm in addiction or when I went to jail, and we can break these things down, but after going to jail and dealing and battling with addiction and dealing with depression and anxiety and having narcissistic tendencies and all of these horrible, not horrible, but dark things, right? Dark moments, I could always go to a song. Like when I was in jail, I'm calling home and I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to do. My mom was like, just sing, just
mm.
begin to worship, just sing. And music literally got me through that time. Like one time I was in
We about to
psychosis.
have some church up in here. Let me tell
I'm
you.
telling
Go
you,
ahead. Let's
one
go.
one time I was in psychosis. One time I was in psychosis because I went out on a binge and I was out for like 4 or 5 days and I was awake and I was delirious. My kidneys were failing. I couldn't urinate. They had to give me a catheter at the hospital. So that
Mm.
means my kidneys were failing. My CK level was 10,000, right? So my whole body is cramping. It's shutting down at this point, right? The only thing I could do was sing of the goodness of God and pray and sing. And everybody was I was talking to a parked car or everything. They couldn't get me to do anything right but to sing worship songs. They put on gospel music and it brought me back.
Yes. Yes.
And this
Yes.
is real life.
Yes.
So once I really seen the power of God and my higher power really at work, right? And when I was able to fall in love with the fact that the God of my understanding loves me, right? No
Yes.
matter my sexual identity, no matter how I feel, how I felt, how I fall, the word I read says there's nothing that can separate me from the love of God, right? Not life, not death, not There's nothing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So growing up, right, and being of the LGBTQ plus I alphabet, I could call them the alphabet because when I was growing up, either you was gay or straight. You
Right.
weren't, but I mean, I love my community. So growing up in a religious family and being a part of that community where you're telling me that the one that loved me enough that he knows every hair on my head, right? He's Alpha and Omega. He knows all. He made me in his own image, right? These
Yes.
are the
Yes.
things
Hmm.
that are I found out to be true, but you're telling me because of something that I cannot control, right? I tried to. I've had girlfriends, I've dated ladies, I've tried, right? But because of how I was made, you're telling me that I'm an abomination and God hates me and I'm going to hell. But so I used to live life and I was going through it like I'm going to hell anyway. So there's nothing I can do to. No, 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 no. The God of my understanding loves me. Even for the Christian of all Christians, let me tell you something, or the most religious person, you can love the person and hate the sin. You cannot agree with the sin, but you don't have to traumatize and abuse and damage a person. You
Right.
can hate the sin, love the person, love
Absolutely.
your neighbor.
Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. And, just to echo that and to say too, if you believe in God and you are a Christian, if that's what your faith is, God creates everyone the same. We're all sinners. Nobody's perfect. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. You just said it. Love thy neighbor. And do you think that that is one of the biggest curses that we have as people of color?
Yes,
Is the
as
non-acceptance? Hmm.
as people of color and as people of religion, because there's a lot of people of and let's just be clear, is everybody of color religious? No, but um a lot of even gospel music, like a lot of the R&B artists, they're all singing church or singing church. Aretha, I mean, that's Whitney. I mean, a lot of the graders, or in my opinion, in my educated musical
You're
opinion,
expert
in my
musical.
expert educated musical opinion, two of the greatest female artists started in church. For example, like, I mean, anybody that backs up anybody in music, as far as backup singers and bands, are normally coming from church.
From it,
I don't
yes,
care. You go to a Fantasia concert, she talking about collard greens and cornbread, and then by the end of the concert, she taking you to church, literally.
absolutely, absolutely,
So, I mean, it is embedded in it, whether you like it or not. And it is, even with that big thing with the comedian that just went viral, it's crossing over. Church is just so involved, so in everything.
yes,
There's so many blurred lines in life now.
right,
When I was growing up, it was either you are or you aren't.
yes,
So you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. God hates you because you did this. No, my God is a God of compassion, a God of love, a God of understanding.
absolutely. You're absolutely right,
That's the God of my understanding. That's my higher power.
right. And there are a lot of things too. We can relate this to political too. These people who claim to be Christians, but who are now committing genocide. These people who are now committing these other acts of atrocities. We don't have to go down this road if we don't want to, but they're the very ones who are also taking back the rights of people, of marginalized people, LGBTQ plus people, people of color, taking away MLK Jr. Day, erasing history in the name of
Yes.
Christianity, in the
Yes.
name of
And
having a husband and wife family. You know, it's ironic.
it is very much so because um, it says we're known by the fruits that we bear. What type of fruits are you bearing? People everywhere. I love when the word goes hand in hand with the world. So when the word matches the world, it's true to me, right? I
Absolutely.
believe in the word of God, but when that aligns, the world and the word align, that's when it's true. And one of the things that aligns for me is you reap what you sow.
Yes.
And what goes around comes around. Karma.
Absolutely.
So
Karma.
the
Hmm.
world calls it karma, and the Bible calls it you reap what you sow, but it's the same concept, right?
Absolutely.
So no matter how you look at it, what you put out is what's going to come back to you.
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
be intentional about putting good energy into the world
Absolutely.
because the gift, the God of my understanding wants to bless me so much that my cup overflows, right? But
Hmm.
when we're connected to people, places, and things that don't deserve the overflow, we won't get the full potential of our blessing.
That's right.
Not that we won't be blessed, but we won't get the full aspect of it because there are things around us that don't deserve the overflow.
Absolutely. And I always say this and people laugh, but that expression, my cup float runneth over. Let everybody get the overflow. I got to fill my cup up first before I
Yep.
can do all these other things and be and these people can be satisfied. But I have to be full first. And I
Yes.
want to take it back to what you said earlier too. Trauma.
Mhm.
Having trauma based on what other people say or made you feel or treated you as or treated you less than. These are the things that make us then go into spiral into things where we have substance abuse, where we don't know who we are, where we're searching for who we are, where we're reaching for security and a bottle of wine or Coke or, substances. So those are the things that are spiraling us into the darkness because we
And
can't walk in our authenticity. And I'm
and
saying that not just for anyone who's LGBTQ plus, I'm saying that for any person,
any
any
person,
person.
and to piggyback off of that with the authenticity part of it, right? Um, and this is not just about religion, right? But I know where my help comes from, right? And I have no other choice no matter where I am at, right? Because in so many situations in my life, I was still blessed no matter what, right? So I call that a Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego situation. So the fire was so hot that it burnt the soldiers that put them into the fire, right?
Hmm.
So God had the power, as He did Jonah from the belly of the whale, and so much. God had the power to deliver them out of the fire, as He did. But first, He wanted to go in there with them, right? So when they
Yes,
turn around and look, they put three in, but they seen four images, right? So before God delivers us out of some situations, sometimes He has to come into the situation to get the glory out of the situation for Him to then deliver us from the situation, right? So
absolutely.
sometimes we're going to be tried by fire, right? But
Hmm.
just know that He's with you in the fire, right? And after you go through the fire and He gets the glory out of your life, that's when it gets crazy for you in a
That's
good
right.
way,
That's
right?
right.
That's when we're under an open heaven.
Absolutely. And we have to also remember that every day is a work in progress. We're working, we're still working to be better, and not comparing ourselves to others, just comparing ourselves to how we were yesterday and making ourselves better in our own lives and for our own selves so that we can be authentic, like we said, and live in our truth and be okay
Because
with it.
when you said about being authentic, when God wants to bless you, He wants to bless you, not all of these people that you pretend to be,
Right,
not all of these masks. So you wonder why, why is my higher power, whatever that may be for you, not blessing me?
right, right.
Because you're not being you. So it can't, your higher power can't bless you because who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? That's
Find out
right.
who you are so that
That's
you
right.
can get your blessing.
That's right. We have to do the work. We
And the
have to do the
work, and
work.
this is the thing, the work is not easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because right now in this situation and in this space that I'm in, am I better than anyone? No. Am I better off? Yes, because I've done the work, because I'm doing the work. So I'm not better than, but I am better off.
Better off. That's right. And those are the things we need to remember. And like you said, we're not pushing religion. We're pushing, whatever it is that keeps you going, that makes you whole, that makes you full. That's what we're searching for in life. What is filling your cup up? Whatever it is. People do it through meditation. People do it through long walks in the park. People do it with other people, one-on-one connection, whatever it is that makes you feel full. I'm not a religious person. I know the Bible. For me, the Bible are metaphors. Those are stories for life. They're metaphors and allegories for life. So you live your life by the Bible, those stories. So how do I apply that story from the Bible to my everyday life? I have a one-on-one relationship for myself personally with the universe, with God. I can call it whatever I want to, but there is an external force that's much greater than me that guides me. You can call it honestly whatever you want to. Most religions are even based the same way. One high, one deity. So you can call it whatever you want to. That's not what we're pushing here. We're just telling you, I'm saying that I need to be full.
And there is something that I have to believe that there is something greater than me,
Absolutely. There has
right?
to be.
Because and for people, listen, I get it if you believe in the earth or whatever, right? But I can't believe in a tree because if lightning strikes, it'll take that tree out. Whatever that I believe in, it has to be greater
Hmm.
than anything that can physically be, right?
Sure.
So my personal higher power is God first and the fellowship of my recovery. Like
Mm,
that is my other higher power. God first, above all, then the fellowship of my recovery, and then my, religious family and things of that nature. And that's what works for
acknowledge.
me.
Right. Exactly. And that's the point. We have to figure out what works for us to keep us afloat. I want to ask you a question. Let's take it kind of back a little bit. Who you are now
Okay.
versus who we know you were back then, who we know you were, the public. John J. Public knew you walking into American Idol, and we see this great looking guy who can sing his ass off, and everybody's invested. I personally was invested because I saw someone that looked like me up there fucking singing.
So let's take it. So again, drive, purpose, determination,
Mm,
um, down to the nitty and gritty of it.
let's get it.
That wasn't the first time I auditioned for American Idol. I auditioned 5 other times before that. I flew all the way to Minneapolis. I drove to South Carolina. I auditioned in Philly, in New York. I auditioned for American Idol so many times, and they gave me 5 no's. But it was the sixth time that I went.
Hmm.
And it wasn't supposed to be in New Jersey that year, but it
What
was
made
in
you go
North
back? I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you for 1 second. What made you go back the sixth time? What made you go back the second time?
because when I grew up, as I was growing up, I would watch Apollo
Hmm.
and I would see them on there. And I wanted to be on TV singing, right? That
Right,
was my dream as a kid.
right,
So at 22, 23 years old, I lived my dream. I don't know if people imagine how big that is. Some people die not even knowing what they want to do, let alone fulfilling it.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
Tell us what it is.
So it was the drive and the determination that I knew that I was worth it. I need you to see it. And I had to prove something to them because they told me no. I could have went on America's Got Talent. I could have went on The Voice. I could have went on, The Four. There were so many shows in between. But I had something to prove to American Idol and myself. I know I'm worth it. Y'all need to know I'm worth it.
Right. You need that
So I'm going to
validation.
go again and again. And as they're telling me what they're looking for and what I don't have, I'm getting. So when I go back, I'm the total package now. I'm talking that talk. I'm walking with that confidence. I know I got it now, right?
Give us a little insight as to what they were kind of telling you, first, second, third, fourth audition. Did they remembered you from, well, you were in different locations, but
Yeah,
did
but
they have the
but we're
same
not. Yeah,
casting
they have the
people?
same executive
Hmm.
producers. They have the same production assistants. That those people don't change. They stay with the season to season to season, right? So you're not what we're looking for. Yeah, you need to work on this, or you need to work on that, or not this time, but keep on trying. And you have such a great gift, but it's just not your year. Come back, like, and I wanted to know what qualified these people to tell me no, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because these aren't the judges, these aren't even music executives, they're production assistants. Like, and when you do make it past the first round, there are several rounds before you even get to the judges.
Oh, wow.
So you stand in line for 525,600 minutes. And after you stand in line that long through the elements, you're all singing, you're all excited, you're nervous, your voice is not
Yeah.
at its, even being out in the elements, you're not just taking care of your instruments, standing out in line, singing in the rain, in the cold, in the heat, in the. So when we were in audition lines, I sang a little bit to warm up towards the end, but when people were belting and wanting the camera on them throughout the line, I wasn't wasting my, no, 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 no. And I won't let y'all know what I got either. So it was one of my little rules. In audition lines, I don't sing and I don't prove nothing to nobody in the line, right? I'm saving everything I got for the time that matters.
I see us in the park, strolling the summer days of imaginings in my head, and words from my heart told only to the wind.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Huh. So I think the other thing we have to remember too is that, like you said, they're production people. It's a show. They're casting a show, to be honest. That's the bottom line. So whether you can sing or not, I mean, obviously they want some good singers. I'm sure there are tons of great singers there,
They
but they are
they have
casting a show.
and they have a plot board before they go on the road.
Hmm.
They know what they want. They know what they're looking for. They know what type of show they want to create. And let's be real, they can make, the brand is so big, they can make anybody the American Idol.
Right.
Whoever they say win, they can make the American Idol, right? So if there are 100,000 people that audition, right? So imagine to being one of the top 10 finalists of season 11 of American Idol. Let's say they had 25 seasons.
Hmm.
How many top 10s did they have in the whole world? Right?
Right.
Not that many.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Right.
That's a gift within itself.
It keeps
Without,
on giving.
in spite of all the trials and all the tribulations and all the hardship I went through with American Idol, one thing I am grateful for is the platform, right? And so doing work and doing recovery, I had to start finding the good out of some horrible situations that were holding me, that
Hmm.
I was hostage to. And everything else has moved on, it's evolved, and I'm stuck because I didn't release.
Right.
Like the
So,
way to get through that stuff, you go through it, you recover, you move on. And
right.
whatever recovery looks like for you about
Right.
that situation, because some situations we're just not going to get closure for. We
Absolutely.
have to get the closure.
Absolutely. So in your season, top 10, you were eliminated and then they brought you back. Once you got
So
back, please, yeah, you tell us. Please tell us.
I had, so once when I auditioned for the judges, so I auditioned in New Jersey, and then I made it past New Jersey, and then American Idol flew me to Portland, Oregon. And they told me to wear exactly what I wore in New Jersey, so to wear when I went to Portland, Oregon, so that they could put it together. So then, even on the video, when you see me coming, getting ready to go audition,
Hmm.
when you see that, I wish I had the clips of everything so we could have played it on. But you know what? After this, follow me, y'all, because I'm going to tell this story with detail. We'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. You started something here, and I want you to be involved in again. But so I had to wear the same thing then. I had to wear the same thing at my house that I wore through the audition so that they could piece it all together. This
All
happened
right.
nowhere near the same time.
Wow.
So the judges only were going to Portland, Oregon. Mind you, New Jersey wasn't supposed to be on there. So the judges never even came to New Jersey. American Idol then flew me to Portland, Oregon, and I got my golden ticket in Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
But
okay.
they knew when I auditioned in Jersey, we already knew I was going to get the golden ticket in Portland.
Interesting. Interesting. See, this is a show. This is a show. That's
So,
what I'm saying.
and so after I got the ticket in Portland, then after that, before I went to, they flew me to California, then they came to my house and recorded all the pre-roll for me leaving to go to the show, right? Because now they're building my story. They didn't
Right.
know they were going to build it in the beginning, so they're building backwards now. So we're filming me getting ready to go to the audition to go audition for the judges, and this is months after I already auditioned for the production assistants and producers already. all of that has already happened. So now we're building the story.
Interesting.
So in building my story, if you see, there was me and my mother, we were very close, right? So
Mhm.
at the fact that we were very close, they built it up around that. So then when they said all this stuff and they leaked the story about my father to TMZ and all this stuff and all of that was a whole big mess.
Build up. How, in retrospect, how do you feel about all that? Because I mean, it, at the time, I was like, "What?" I was like, "What? What happened? What happened?"
It really, I am grateful to my higher power that I can even sit here and have this conversation with you and not get emotional.
Just for the people
Because
who are viewing, you want to tell them what happened, how you exited the show?
um and all of this is, you can look at it legit if you go Google it. It's a really powerful moment in entertainment.
Hmm.
Um so I was rehearsing. I sang Somewhere Out There, and this song was going to be the breakout. That was going to be the breakthrough song, right? I had a live band. We were going to have smoke. I was going to have the suit on. We were going to create the moment.
Hmm.
So I'm rehearsing, and as soon as I get off the stage from rehearsing, a production assistant comes up to me and says, "Production needs to speak with you," the executive producers. So Nigel and Ken were in the room, and I walk into the room, and there's cameras everywhere, right? So I sit down, and they present me with some of the mistakes that I made in my past when I was younger. One, I gave a fake name of, I think, I forget what the name was, right? But something when I was 17, 18 years old, something stupid like that, right? And me and my friends got into it in a hotel lobby one time, but it wasn't nothing. And so these are the things that they were saying, that they worked with law enforcement to do all of this stuff, right? So if that was the case and that was true, then when I flew in to Philadelphia, since they booked my flight, the marshals or somebody should have been waiting for me, right? Because
Right.
I'm a
Yeah.
fugitive of the state.
Right.
If what they're saying is true, right?
Right.
Let's break it down and get to the
Yeah.
truth.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me so anxious and makes my mouth dry. Excuse me, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
really
sorry to
get
put you
anxious with
through
it.
it. Yeah.
So, no, 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 no. It's okay. It's a conversation that has to be had. So, I go in the room. They confront me with all this information, and I tell them, like, um, I did not tell them the little things, right, or whatever, because to them I was just a number. They didn't hear me sing it. It wasn't my gift, right? But before that, I met with a private investigator in Portland, Oregon, after I made it. And he was asking me questions about social media and things like that. So they did their due diligence. So whatever they said they didn't know is a lie. So I even had to get an attorney to take care of some stuff before I even went on the
Before you
show.
even went on the show, of course. I mean, like they do a background check. Absolutely do a background check. John Q. Public knows that. Anything you do like that, they're gonna do a background check.
So
That's
for them to say
yeah.
that they didn't know about these things or didn't know that I had active warrants and they worked with law enforcement to seize me, let's make sense of the situation.
Right.
America,
Right.
the world,
That's
right?
right.
So, and why, if all I wanted to do was share my gift and make it on this show, why, and in turn, would I work with them to exploit myself like that? When people are trying to say I work with them, they did it for ratings, not me. There was nothing that they did to me. There was nothing good that really came from that situation. At the end,
At the end, yeah.
so what
Yeah.
happened was, when I was in Las Vegas, because mind you, they drive you back and forth, you fly back and forth. It's a lot of rounds before y'all see stuff.
Hmm.
So we were in Las Vegas, and this round I didn't make it. They had sent me home. J Lo gives me a hug, and she tells me to just hold it together. You did a real good job. You're worth it, right? So mind you, this is J Lo, the one who dubbed
Wow.
me the Gentle Giant.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when I auditioned, oh my gosh, when I walked into the room, I literally heard, ah, and I seen a light around her. Mind you, this is in real life for me.
Right.
And when she hugged me, even my mom can't hug me like that. I've never
Wow.
been hugged like that in my life, and
Wow.
I probably never will again.
Wow. Yeah.
So, um, like
She was great on the show, by the way,
she
too, I
was,
have to
she
say.
was, she was,
Absolutely.
she
Yeah.
was, she was. Even you could see in her face, even when they said they worked in law enforcement and I'm not coming back to show and all these things, even you could tell in her face that, she wasn't pleased with
Hmm.
the decision that was made. So when they let me go in Las Vegas, I go home, I'm devastated. So somebody calls me and says, Jermaine, Nigel would like to speak to you. Nigel calls my cell phone and I'm like, hello. And he's like, Jermaine, the judges feel like they made a mistake. We want to bring you back.
Mm.
I turn to my mom and I say, this is a setup.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
mind you, I'm at home back in Pine Hill, New Jersey. They already kicked me off the show in Las Vegas. So then I end up saying yes, right? This opportunity of a lifetime. After they already kicked me, I'm letting them drag me. I'm showing them that they can do whatever they want to me because I want it this bad, right?
Right.
So
But in your heart of hearts, you knew, your intuition told
I
you it was a
knew that it was a
setup.
setup.
Oh
I
my
knew it.
God.
And so I ended up packing and going back. So the big reveal, we already knew it wasn't a big reveal. While the top 24 were rehearsing in the studio, I'm at a private hotel, different from them in California. And then when they're done rehearsing, I go to the studio and rehearse. When they're done on the stage, then I go on the stage and rehearse. They kept me different, separate from the top 24. So the 24's genuine reaction is real when I came
When
back
you
for the
came
top
back.
25.
Wow.
But everybody else already knew I was there.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
So then I made it to the top 25. The way that I got off 12th is because they still tried to slight me. The judges were able to pick once America voted me into the top 10, the producers ended up giving this curveball and letting each one of the judges pick an extra person.
Mm.
So that made it the top 13.
That's right. I remember that.
So America voted me into the top 10, but then the
Right.
judges picked 3 wild cards, so it made it the top 13. Then this big scandal happened when it was the top 12 or 11, 12, something like that, 12.
Right.
So even because I was an emotional person, if you look at the audition, even in Vegas, I'm on the seat praying, crying. I'm just like, I'm very emotional, right? And so I spoke to my grandfather, may he rest in peace, and he said there's a difference of being weak and being meek. And you don't want to look weak. So like some of these times, like get your emotion together, you're a man, tighten up basically. And so I did. And so the executive producers, when they did vote me in, America voted me in, they put me on towards the end when I was in the top of the rankings that week because they wanted me to cry. So the executive producers come up and tells me, Jermaine, show emotion, show emotion. During the commercial, no, I'm not crying. My grandfather told me to tighten up. I'm not doing that, bruh.
Right.
I'm listening
Right.
to my
Right.
folk.
Right.
So I wasn't sitting up there crying on TV no more. Just because I'm
They were
emotional don't
trying to
mean I
do
have to be.
TV. That's what it was. They were trying to get the ratings. I love this. You held on to your thing. You said, I'm not standing for this.
I have to I have to hold it together, right? And because I know that I was voted in the top of the top 10 and you wait all the way to the last person, you know the anxiety is going to build,
Right.
and so when I was looking at the other individual, I couldn't believe that. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And during the breaks, the executive producers are trying to coach me and tell me to do this and that and the third. Mm-mm. I'm gonna have my dignity. Even when
Yeah.
they dogged me out and I walked out, I grabbed my bag, I got into that car, right? And when I got back to the hotel, I called my mom and I broke down crying, right? Because now I see that it was a
A
setup.
setup.
And you took my dreams away, right? I wanted to take my life at the end of the day.
Oh my God.
This is
And
this is the reality of reality TV, right?
absolutely.
People
Absolutely.
fall into addiction. They commit suicide. Like these are people's real lives, real dreams that you're playing with, that you're
Absolutely.
making money off of, right? I'm a real person. I
Yep.
have real feelings. I
Right.
really matter.
Right. And humiliate you in front of 40 million people. 40 million. 40 million people.
And I have to live, and I have to live, right? and just be okay when
Right.
I'm not okay, right?
Absolutely. You have to live the next day. You have to go out and face the public the next day, subject to humiliation, to people asking you questions, and because you're a public figure,
Yeah.
you're a pop star.
I mean,
At that point, you are a pop star.
when I
You don't have
say
to win, but you're the pop star.
the world, I'm talking about I meant fans in Indonesia and Africa. I'm
Absolutely.
talking about so then I
Fan
tweeted,
club already. I know. I was
I'm
part of the
telling you,
club. I'm
when
telling
I
you, when I saw you on TV, I was like, yes, I want this guy to win.
because I'm gonna tell you something, I went against everything that they were from the beginning. They were telling me no, and they weren't taking. And I just knew that the gift that God has given me, my higher power, which is Jesus Christ, my God, that's my higher power, y'all. When I say higher power, but because of my program, when I'm working, I just learned to say higher power and respect everybody, right? So, the God of my understanding, he gave me a gift and it comes without repentance, and it also says it'll make room for you in front of great men, right? But in that situation, there were times where during the Ford commercial, mind you, I've been there all this time. This is a commercial for Ford.
Hmm.
My clothes didn't fit. They cut them up the back and had to duct tape them and safety pin them. How don't you have clothes to fit me? This is not the first audition, second audition, first time meeting
That's
me,
crazy.
fifth, sixth, 10th.
That's
You don't
crazy.
have my sizes, and I know you do. Come on.
That's crazy.
You
Yeah,
had
definitely
me fly.
sabotage. I'm
You
screaming
had me.
sabotage.
You had me fly my mom, and we called her my best friend. My mom and my ex-boyfriend to California.
Hmm.
They came after America voted. They were staying in my hotel suite. Mind you, I was staying away from the other ones. So they were in the Sofitel. I was at this private hotel in the hills in Hollywood, right? So once I made American Idol had me fly my mom and my ex out there at the time, right? Once I made it to the top 10, American Idol said my mom and them could go home. Where they gonna go? That I had to go stay in a hotel with Joshua Ledette, who I made it with. So now I don't have a private suite no more. I'm in the heart of Hollywood with Joshua, and now my family and them, we don't have the money yet. So now
Right.
they're gonna be outside after you made them come
Get
here for
out of here.
TV.
Get out of here.
I went. For my people. Don't play with my people, right? And so I told the executive producers and everything, if y'all don't take care of them and they have to go home right now, I'm going with, right? And I'm an investment now at this time. I'm your property, right? You just America just voted me into the top 10. They couldn't have me just leave abruptly, right? Like that. They had to build up for me
Right.
to leave, right?
Yeah. So
So
you had some leverage. You had a little bit of leverage. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used it. And
Right.
I used it, and they ended up getting my mom and my ex-boyfriend a hotel room together across from the studio because they
Oh
got
my
round trip
God.
tickets. So they had a flight back home.
Right.
So then they knew what they were going to do to me, but I wasn't letting really like the hairstylist retwist my hair because of, you know what I mean? So my sister, which twists my hair, and a friend of the family, which is my barber, they were both flying out to do my hair. So we crossed paths in the air. When American Idol was sending me home, they were flying out to do
Oh
my hair.
no. Oh no. Oh my
So
God.
I fly back, and mind you, I wish I could pull it up right now. If you put Jermaine Jones, American Idol TMZ, the coverage of them that they had of me is insane. But when I got down, touched down in New Jersey, there was somebody taking pictures of me with their cell phone, like down here, because when I was getting my luggage, there's pictures of me on TMZ saying Jermaine flees to Philadelphia. I didn't flee. I flew first class.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't flee. And I'm gonna tell you, by the time I got back to my hotel, they're like, Jermaine, your flight leaves in, let's say, 45 minutes. And we got to go to LAX and I got to get through. They gave me no time to pack all my things. They basically like put me in my car. My car drove me to my hotel. I call my mom. I have my breakdown. Then it's chin up. I get my as much stuff as I can. I left some things. I pack up all my things. I dash out the door. I get on the flight. I'm back in Philadelphia. If you look at TMZ, the picture in the airport, I have on the same clothes that I have on when I had the conversation with them on the couch. That's how fast they got me back to Philadelphia.
My God.
I couldn't even change my clothes.
Oh my God. Wow. Mm-mm.
And then you sign so many contracts. They own your name, your image, and your likeness. So they own the name my mom gave me, the image that God made me in, my likeness. Come on.
Yeah.
So then I had to
How
get an
long do those
attorney.
contracts last?
Years, 10 years, longer. They last a
Mm-hmm.
long time. So I had to get an attorney to then get out of my contract so that I could do stuff. But I was still blackballed.
Right. You're blacklisted because you can't do anything.
I
They
went
own
to
all the
Cali.
rights.
I was blacklisted for a lie. I was blacklisted as a liar. I was blacklisted for working with American Idol. I was blacklisted for lying to American Idol. I was blacklisted. I was so mistreated. And to the entire world, I couldn't say it then, but I can now. It is not the truth. Do your research, do your work. Do I have a past? Yes, sir. Let him without sin cast the first stone.
Mm,
So show me somebody who doesn't have a past.
absolutely.
I mean, the president of the United States is a convicted felon. And there are people
Absolutely.
who can't get housing because they have a felony. Like they're a one-time felon. They can't get housing and they can't get other assistance in certain things
Hmm.
because they have a felony. But there's somebody that's a convicted felon that's in the highest office of the land
The most powerful man in the world.
is a convicted felon.
Yep. Yeah. That's. And I think, like you said, it's taken all this time for you to be able to tell your side of the story. And you've had to.
And listen, because
Mhm.
and when you say be able, that's powerful because it took me all this time to actually heal,
Absolutely. That's what I was going to
to
say.
do the
Yep.
work. It took me rehab. It took me years of addiction. I literally been from Hollywood to homeless.
Yeah.
Literally. And everywhere in between. But
It's. Go ahead.
one thing I know that never left me was music, grace, and mercy.
Absolutely.
When I was in prison for 18 months, almost 2 years, when I was in prison, nothing bad happened to me. Nobody hurt me. My prison story ain't a bad story, right? Because God still was like, he said, son, you got to go through this. But I went through it I didn't go through it bad. I've seen people get shanked over a pack of oodles and noodles. Nothing
Yeah.
happened to me.
Yeah.
I've seen people die. I've seen the staff jump people. I've seen bad things happen to people, but that's not my story.
Right.
Like even in my addiction, I never had to eat out of the trash can or live in a tent outside. That wasn't my rock bottom, right?
Hmm.
So even in horrible situations and even in addiction and in jail and all of these things, God still gave me favor. So
Yeah.
I have no other choice but to give him the glory and the praise and the credit because I know where my help come from, right? Not
Absolutely.
by no strength of my own, because there were times where I didn't have strength.
Right.
When I did not, there's a difference. My rock bottom was when I woke up and not caring whether I live or die is total difference than wanting to die, right?
Hmm.
Than to wanting to go to the block that's the hottest block, right? That you notice somebody overdosed off of to go get a bag because you want to hope you get a hot one. So you hope that you don't wake up, right?
Yeah.
That's dark.
That is very dark.
So people live their life on the edge all the time. Oh, I don't care whether I live or die. That's different than wanting to die. Than waking up and not wanting to be alive.
Right. Yeah.
Then live for what, right?
Hmm.
But when your dream is taken away from you And you feel as though at your life right now you have no purpose, right? Because I thought that was my purpose.
Right.
I thought that was the goal. My dream was not to be on the stage getting a Grammy. My dream was not to sing the national anthem at the Wells Fargo Center, even though I have been considered for a Grammy for Best R&B Performance before, even though I have sang the national anthem at the Wells Fargo Center, let's be clear. But my dream was to do what I did, right? So these people took my purpose, my dream. I thought my purpose,
You
right?
thought, yeah, you
So,
took the words right out of my mouth.
so I had to do some work, but I had to refine so my dream was not aligned with the purpose that God had for me. And it
Right.
can be that way sometimes. Your dream may not be your purpose. A lot of times it
Right.
ain't.
Well, here's the thing that I always say is our purpose is created.
Hmm.
Our destiny is done, by the higher force, by God.
Right.
But we create our purpose. We find
I'm
out what
trying
we're
to,
here to do, and we create that purpose.
right.
So what do you think your purpose is? Or
My
have you found
purpose,
it? You may not have found it completely
yes,
yet.
yes, I know my purpose now. My purpose is to use my platform and use my voice to help somebody who is still sick and suffering.
Beautiful.
And when I say sick and suffering, I'm talking about sick and suffering from anything because we want to equate addiction to drugs and alcohol, right? People are addicted to pornography. People are addicted to people. People
Yes.
are addicted to things, right? So when I say somebody's still
Social
sick and
media.
suffering, when I say somebody who is still sick and suffering, that is my purpose, to spread the message, to let people know that no matter what your right now situation is, it don't have to be like that,
Right.
right? There is something greater. I don't care who told you what. There's something greater than your right now situation, right? So my purpose is to inspire somebody, right? With my story. That is a story of redemption, a story of grace and mercy, a story of triumph. It is not a story of woe is me. Yes, I've been through some things, but I ain't the only one.
That's right. Your story has many chapters.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
very multifaceted,
Yeah.
right? And so when you get into the book that I'm working on and we get into the meat of it all, right? I had to do work, right? So I did work so deep that um one time I had a situation in my life where somebody stabbed me, right? And it was a half inch away from my heart. It punctured my lungs. I almost died.
Hmm.
And it was a person that I was in a relationship with, right?
Hmm.
And after I did my work, I called and apologized to that person. And everybody's like, why, right? Because if I'm supposed to be that person's special person, right? When I met that person, they wouldn't have done that to me. There were things that I did along our relationship to make you that afraid that you can't have a conversation with me. You had to bring a knife to the conversation, right? Because this altercation didn't happen in the kitchen where if you grab a knife, you left the house where you were at and came to where I was with the knife to have a conversation with me, but you didn't feel safe enough to have a conversation with me because of the things that I've done to you, the monster that I created, right?
Mm.
So I apologize for the hurt that I did to you because I've done hurt, right?
Right.
I wasn't always the victim.
Right. Yeah.
I was not always the victim. There were
And
times where I had to hold myself accountable for the things that I've done. Because
and
for every action, there's a reaction.
absolutely.
So my actions of being physical and being unpredictable and being mean and things of that nature, you leave your house and come to where I'm at, but you feel so passionate about having this conversation that you have to have it. But you have to bring a knife with you because you don't feel safe enough to have a conversation. That's not cool. And
Right.
that's not okay.
And
I
so
did work
how
deep
do you
like that.
feel? Yeah. How do you feel holding yourself accountable and doing that?
I freed myself from the guilt.
Yeah.
I freed myself from the shame. I also gave the other individual some freedom for me taking accountability because they apologized to me to infinity and beyond.
Absolutely.
They have shown me that they're sorry and all of that. And I appreciate that. But I apologize to them 15 years later.
And it's okay. It's okay because the
I
apology
made
came.
amends.
Absolutely. And that is the other baggage that we carried is when we hold those things in for so long, it just festers inside. If we don't
And then
forgive, if we don't have forgiveness, all those
yes.
things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it comes up, and that's why I forgive people now because I want to be forgiven.
Yes. Yep.
That's why I love on people now because I want to be loved on.
Yes.
And it's back to no matter what you get, what you put out, you're going to get it back.
Right. Right.
So be intentional about the way that you handle people in all aspects of your life.
Absolutely.
Have integrity about the way you carry yourself. Just be kind because it's okay to be kind. You're supposed to be kind.
Yeah, we are.
Like we're taught hate. We are not born to be racist. We are not born to be homophobic.
Right.
We are not born to not like somebody by the color of like we're not born that way.
No.
These are learned behaviors.
Yep. We're humans first. We're humans first. That's it. Just humans first.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
And so for me to really um for me to really get to this point, I had the first, like the 12 steps. People need to work them in all aspects because I had the first step is admitting that my life had become unmanageable, right? And I need the help of a higher power, whatever that may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because my life has become unmanageable and I can't do this no more.
Right.
The first is a sign of surrender. I can't.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so once you come to the realization of you don't got it, right? You think you're the cat food and you're kibbles and bits. You're not the cat food. You're the listen.
Yeah.
And then we create these delusions in our own head of grandeur and these delusions that make no, the reality situation is I was a broken, hurt, traumatized individual and traumatized by the church,
Yes.
traumatized by family,
Yes.
traumatized by people and things and situations, right? Because that's real, that's true.
Multiple
And,
traumas.
and so I'm dealing with people, right?
Yeah.
People have a like, they just end up connecting. They say opposites attract sometimes, but kindred spirits connect, right?
Right. Yeah.
So imagine if my spirit is broken, I'm depressed, I'm doing all the stuff and I haven't done my work. If I get together with somebody and I'm in this space, they're probably in that space too. Now,
Right.
those spaces may not look the same, right? Because they have a better job and more money, their depression might not look like my depression, but we're both, so it's a trauma bond. It's not a real relationship.
Right. Yeah.
We have a trauma bond.
Yep.
Because I'm dealing with trauma, you dealing with trauma, and we connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're fostering this trauma bond that we call a relationship.
Right.
Do your work. Stop hurting people. Stop hurting yourself. You know how many people I hurt unwarranted because I was messed up? That they were just a casualty of my
Oh my
war.
gosh. It goes back to what you keep saying. You have to heal yourself first.
You have
to heal yourself first before you can have that connection with someone. Before you can have it, you have to
And
be full.
and the healing, and I'm gonna tell you something, it gets so deep like this for me doing my work. Also, in it says you have to write down everybody and everything you have done wrong, right? And when you get to this step, imagine thinking of the ripple effects, right? Of what I did to this person that may have caused something to them with their relationship, which in turn may have caused something with their kids, which in turn may have caused something with their kids, right?
Yes.
Which in turn, right. So imagine how many people, and you have to be humble in this place because think about your cringeworthy moments. I have some moments that I believe that was just going with me and God to the grave, right? But you're as sick as your secrets,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And so that comes with owning. You're as sick as your secrets, right? And once I tell it and I put it out and I release this book and we release this interview and we continue for me to tell my story, right? Which is a testimony, right? I went through the test and now I'm telling the testimony, and that's where my breakthrough is.
Listen, I want to. This conversation is so deep and so necessary and on so many levels for so many people. I want to know what's the day to day, kind of for you, but in general for people or people who have experienced things like this. How do they
Okay.
continue on? Where do they go? What do they do? Because what I like to do is I like to help find solution for people when we talk about stuff like this.
Okay. The first thing is accountability, right? You have to own, you have to be accountable for what you do and what you say, right?
Right.
Because I can't stop whatever happening around me is going to happen. I only can be accountable for how I respond, right? And one thing I learned in this program is that you can always start over, right?
Hmm.
If you're having a bad day at 6 a.m. and you wake up with, a chip on your shoulder, start over at 6:30. If something happens at 6:30 and your coffee is too hot and you burn your mouth, start back over at 10 a.m.
Oh man, I love
I
that. I
like you
love
don't
that.
have to keep that energy going. And I start every day with the serenity prayer because if you just listen to it, and it's not a lot and it's fast, but it moves, it's powerful. So I'm saying God, which whatever God is to you,
Hmm.
but it's good, orderly direction, period. So wherever you get that from,
Right.
wherever you get that good, orderly direction from, that's God, right?
That
So
is
let's say it
exactly.
be whatever. Good, orderly direction. That's what God is. So
Hmm.
God, grant me the serenity, the peace
Yes.
to accept the things I
I
cannot
cannot
change that are going to be
change.
inevitable
Absolutely.
and to have the courage to change the things that I can, right?
Come on.
And the
Come on.
wisdom to know the difference between the two. So something that simple, I start my day with that. If I'm anxious, I say that. God, give me peace about this situation. Whether I can control it or not, give me peace about it. Because if you speed, right, and you get a ticket, you may have to pay a fine.
That's right.
Lord, just give me peace about this fine. Because I
Mm.
got to go through this situation, right? And I can't control it. It's going to happen.
Right.
But I can have serenity in it.
That's right. That's right.
And if I can change it and to make somebody else's day or to change it into a better day, give me the courage to do that too. So anybody that's dealing with depression, anxiety, PTSD, your sexuality, your relationship with religion, your relationship with your family, whatever it is, turn it over. Turn it over
That's right.
to
You have the power.
some good orderly direction that is greater
Yes.
than you.
That's
Turn it
right.
over.
And you have the power to do that.
You
Turn
have
it
the
over.
power.
Yep.
Turn it over.
Yep.
Your depression, turn it over.
Yep.
Your anxiety, turn it over. Turn it over.
Mm.
Your life, turn it over.
Listen,
Your marriage, turn it over. Your
I'm gonna tell you
relationship with your
something.
children, turn it over.
You need to be given TED Talks. That's the next order for you is a TED Talk.
Okay, okay.
We're gonna figure that one out. I want to know. I'm gonna switch the subject just for a minute here. I
Yes,
want to
let's
know
go.
what's coming up. What's coming up next for you? I mean, I know you haven't had a chance to work on music that much, but
So,
do you feel like you're in
so
that space or?
yes. So I went to, let me speed y'all up. So I went to rehab for 90 days, and then I went to Charlotte for a month, and then I went to another rehab for 28 days, and then I came to transitional housing. And so um, the next thing right now is to focus on my book to get
Good.
that done.
Mm-hmm.
And get some new music put out there, right? Because as much as I want to get into the motivational speaking and the author and all of those things, because I had a motivational speaking platform called In the Pursuit of Your Dreams.
Nice.
And I would love to go to inner cities and schools and college and community centers and things of that nature and, tell the message of hope. Not preach it, but tell the message of hope. So I definitely want to, develop that. I definitely want to get into being a peer recovery specialist, and from that getting my degree in addiction counseling. Um, um, because that's my purpose, like to give people another chance, especially in the justice system. I've seen firsthand how horrible, disgusting, vile the way the system could be, right?
Right.
And people say that they have reentry programs, but there's really nothing. I want to really develop something reentry where we help people really integrate back into, we really rehabilitate
Habilitate.
them
Hmm.
instead of prison system doesn't do that.
Right. Yeah.
But I want a
Which is
program
what
that
they
really
claim
does.
they do there, but they don't. I know. I
Let's get a
know.
job.
Yeah.
Let's get you housing.
Right.
Let's give you things where you don't have to go back to those old behaviors, right? You want to tell me not to go back to old behavior, but you make me a felon, you put me on probation, you give me a fine, but I can't get a job. So what do I resort to? You either
Right.
keep locking me up for not paying my fines
Right.
because I can't get a job,
Hmm.
or I have to resort to doing something illegal to pay the
To
fine
pay the
because I
fine.
can't
That's
get a
it.
job.
Right. And it's a recidivist crime again. That's how it works. The system is set up for you to fail once you get out of the jail system or prison system. You know,
And I wasn't no career criminal. I'm not no adult criminal. I have not been to jail since then, and I wasn't in jail before then, right? Like I'm not no
right.
jailbird, right?
Right.
But after that situation, my extensive, beautiful resume of work ethic and working in jobs and of life, period. I've done some amazing things in my life.
Mm.
All don't matter because of a moment of me losing myself, right?
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
warranted, the situation. I don't want to get into it. It was warranted, but still, it's never okay to give somebody or anything so much power, right? That you lose control of yourself,
Right.
period.
Right.
You should never be out of control of yourself. You can be upset. You can be angry. You can be frustrated. You can be disappointed. You can be all of the things. But one thing you cannot be is out of control of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a hard one sometimes. That's a hard one.
Yeah, we all,
But that,
because,
yeah.
for example, allegedly, you walk into the house of your partner having somebody in your bedroom, in your bed. You don't know what you would do with that situation until you're presented with it. A
Exactly.
lot of people would say, oh, I would turn around and walk out.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Listen, until you are presented with that situation, you don't know what you would do. Those are one of
Exactly.
those things where you just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just don't know.
Yep. Where you leave your body and you're like somewhere else and just action just happens. You black out. You
And
don't
you'll
know.
go.
Yeah.
So I'm working on the book. I'm definitely going to work on some new music because I know that people want it, and I'm going to give it to them. I'm definitely going to continue to tell this story. I'm going to continue to tell my story, like because we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg
I want
at
to
this
have you
jumping.
back.
Like,
I actually have some things. We're going to talk off camera, but
okay,
maybe some things we can collaborate on. But I do want, yeah, let's continue this conversation.
okay.
How do we get in touch with you and how should we, or should we just sit back
Um,
or follow
No,
you
no,
on
no, no,
social
no, no,
media?
no.
What would we
Don't
doing?
sit back. Don't sit back. Definitely get into my TikTok. I'm getting a lot more active with TikTok. I definitely want to work on some type of way to release the real story in parts. So I want a part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and I don't know how many parts it will be until we get the whole story out, right?
Absolutely.
And so I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm going to start working these platforms again because, mind you, I started everything over May 4th of last year.
Oof. Wow.
So this is 20 years of stuff. Let's say the real stuff started in 2005. But if we go back to, like, childhood things, there was traumas there too. That's why I say when I break this thing down and tell this real story, it's going to be in parts. So I'm on Instagram as I am J Jones. I'm on Facebook as Jermaine Jones. Now listen, if you go on Facebook, I have so many different pages. I have fake pages. I have pages I'm trying to get taken down. It is insanity to me. But I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I am on YouTube. And what I'll do is I'll give you all my handles, so when you post this video, you can tag them or whatever the case may be. Give you that information, and just look out, y'all, because there was a play that I was in, and it's called 3 Angry B Words. And Monica Yvette Money, she used to be with LL Cool J in them. She wrote the play. And I was in the play, but now she has the funding and going to make it a movie. So she asked me to come participate in the movie as well. So look out for that. And it's definitely different than me being in the other movie I was in called The North Star with Jeremiah Trotter, Lynn Whitfield, Keith David, Clifton Powell. All of these heavy hitters were in this movie called The North Star. Y'all can go check it out. And I sang I Want Jesus to Walk With Me as the slaves were going through the field. So I had a little dream girl moment, but not quite. I got kicked off the show, then I did a little film, but this one right here is going to be nice. So I have some things coming up. I'm working.
You are. And most importantly, you're working on yourself, which is the most important thing. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, Jermaine Jones with the exclusive here on OneMicNite. Please make sure you follow him. Please. Thank you for spending some time here on OneMicNite. Time is the most valuable thing we have, so I appreciate you. We will definitely have you back. We got a lot more to talk about. Follow him. The handles and everything will be down in the notes of this podcast episode. Season 7. Thank you guys all for tuning in to OneMicNite. OneMicNite is spelled OneMicNite. My name is Marcos Luis, Marcosluis. Thank you. We will see you next time on OneMicNite Podcast. Bye-bye.
Thank you.